So we are done with the NFL draft. Free agency is just about wrapped up, and a good amount of teams have new starting quarterbacks heading into next year. So today, I put all of those teams in a tournament to see which one is the best. We have the New York Jets led by future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers. They're an 80 overall. Made sure to update these teams as much as possible, man, according to the ESPN depth chart. Their first round opponent's gonna be Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. They're an 81 overall. I think people are sleeping on how good the Packers roster still is. Defense especially looking solid. The Colts are gonna have a new starting QB, whether it's Richardson or Minshew. So they're in the tourney no matter what. They're an 80 overall. Their first round matchup is gonna be division rival Houston with CJ Stroud leading the way. On defense, they just scooped up Shaquille Griffin. Have one of the better secondaries in the league. Definitely one of the more underrated ones. On the other side of the bracket, we have the Washington Commanders, led by either Jacoby Brissett or Sam Howell. Who knows who's going to start? Right now, Brissett has the higher overall, so I made him the starter. Secondary is looking good. And speaking of the Washington secondary, we have a super chat from KC Exodus that says, do you think you could do a team of Des Bryant's versus a team of D'Angelo Halls? By the way, love the viz, bro. Keep it up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Obviously, D'Angelo Hall, former Washington DB, used to talk a lot of trash. My favorite moment from him was when he got crossed up by DeAndre Hopkins in practice. That was hilarious. But who knows, man? I can't give you any promises. That definitely sounds like a funny idea, but regardless, thank you for the donation. Now back to the video. The Raiders are the Commanders' first round opponent, led by Jimmy Garoppolo. They're an 80 overall, so it seems like most of these teams are hovering around that 80, 81 overall range, which bodes well for this tourney's competitiveness. Like, every game should be close. This is where I have to show you the rules, okay? If they started less than half the games last year, then they qualify as a new starting quarterback. So Desmond Ridder, even though he had a couple games as the starter, this year he's a full-time starter, and the Falcons qualified for the tournament. Bijan at running back. Now they're 79 overall, so one of the lower overalls we've seen, but Bates and company have one of the better secondaries in the league with Okudah joining them. So yeah, they're going to be a problem as well. They're facing off against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers in round one. Bobby, Thielen, a lot of new names. They're the same exact overall, so this could arguably be the closest game of round one. Two more NFC South teams in our final matchup. Derek Carr and the Saints. They're an 81 overall, and they will be taking on another 81 overall, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield. 10 teams total in this tournament. Let's just go right to the end of the game. If it's close at the end, we will hop in. Right now, it's a 7-7 ball game after one. Stroud and the Texans take the lead in the second quarter. Richardson takes the lead in the third quarter. It's a tie game, 24 all in the fourth. This is what I'm talking about. Gotta hop in for this one. Texans in the red zone, less than 2 minutes left. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. Here's a run right up the gut. Damian Pierce inside the 5. What a play right there. They get a touchdown. Now let's see if Anthony Richardson has that dog in him. Can he channel his inner Peyton Manning and lead the Colts down the field, tie this bad boy up. Nice pass to Pittman, who spins for the first down. Good pocket for Anthony. He's going to throw a laser there across midfield. Man coverage again. Pittman shaking off a tackle, getting him down to the 1. No more timeouts for Indianapolis. Here comes the blitz and the touchdown. Tie game. Let's go play by play. This is going to be an overtime, and Indy gets ball first, and they end up getting the game-winning touchdown. 64-yard rush by Jonathan Taylor. No replay, unfortunately, but Richardson wins the battle of the young quarterbacks. Jonathan Taylor and Pierce both had phenomenal games, but only one team's moving on, and that's the Colts. Next matchup is the Saints and the Buccaneers divisional game. Isn't it crazy how every single team in the NFC South has a new quarterback? That's actually nuts to think about, man. I guess you could argue Ridder, he was on the team last year, but still, he's starting the entire season. Either way, the Saints off to a dominant lead, and they're gonna win this one pretty easily. Just not enough from the Buccaneers, man. Both quarterbacks threw multiple interceptions, but Carr threw for over 300 yards and had 3 touchdowns. The Saints still have a lot of talent. It wasn't even Thomas or Olave who carried them. It was Traquan Smith. If he can do that, then look out for the Saints in real life. life. DeMario, one of the best MLBs in the league, doing what he does, and his team is moving on. Next up, we have Rodgers taking on his old team in the Packers. Now, keep in mind, this is last year's schedule, so I'm not sure if he's going to be playing them in this upcoming season, but we couldn't pass up on this opportunity to get them going up against each other in round number 1, and we have a close one. Start of second half, it was only a 1-point game. Packers extend their lead 20-35. 2-minute warning is about to be reached. Rodgers is down 15, needs to get a touchdown and get it very fast. There's a first down. Last chance for the Jets and their new starting quarterback. 4th down and 7. Down multiple possessions. Here comes the blitz. Rodgers, top of the screen, incomplete. Rasul Douglas with the breakup. And Jordan Love outduels Aaron Rodgers in this matchup. 4 touchdowns, no picks for the young quarterback. Romeo Doubs stepped up. Luke Musgrave, new tight end for Green Bay. And they are headed to the next round. Next up, we have another division matchup. Panthers and Bryce Young taking on Ritter and the Falcons. Carolina off to the early lead. At halftime, it's only a 3-point game. Here come the Falcons. They take the lead, heading into the 4th quarter, extended. And Bijan Robinson, with some nice runs late in the game, has his team in field goal range. 3rd and 6. They get this game over. Ritter to the end zone, incomplete. 1st and 10, play action. Young, off his back foot, throws right into the hands of a Falcons defender. And ATL is headed to the next round. Not the best showing for Bryce Young, man. 12 of 30. Way too many incompletions. Ritter definitely outplayed him in this one. Matt Collins stepped up for the Falcons. Lou Vu and that Panthers defense was getting pressure, but their offense held them back. Final matchup of the first round, we have 2 former teammates going at it. Jimmy G and the Raiders taking on Jacoby Brissett and the Commanders, who have the early lead in this one, 13-7, heading into half number 2, but the Raiders are not going away. Tie game late in the 3rd quarter. Jacobs gets the touchdown. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Now it's time to see if Brissett can tie this bad boy up. 2nd down and 4. 3-man rush. Crosby trying to get there, but he can't. Instead, it's a dot to Scary Terry. One of the best receivers in the league, gets them across midfield, but a few plays later, it's 4th and 6 for the Commanders. Last chance. Jacoby throwing an incompletion. The Raiders take over. Now it's just up to Jimmy G and this offense to get a couple first downs, maybe even just one. And this game is all but over. Nice tackle. Biggest play of the game for both teams. 3rd and 6. If the Raiders get the first, they win. Can Jacobs make it happen? No. What a tackle by Holcomb. What a punt by the Raiders special teams. Downing them inside the 6. AJ Cole's him. Guys named Cole definitely stepping up in this 4th quarter. First was Holcomb with the nice tackle on 3rd. And AJ Cole pinning them back inside the 6. Jenkins gets the sack. And Jimmy G and the Raiders are headed to the next round of the tournament. Jacobs with a huge play in the 4th quarter, helping his team prevail. 5 teams left. Now we're going to spin this wheel to see which 2 teams have to fight for the last spot in the final 4. Here's spin number 1. Gonna end up being the Saints, and their opponent could be their division rival Falcons, and that's exactly what it's gonna be. ATL for the final spot in the final 4. ATL and Desmond Ritter get off to the early lead, but Lattimore gets the pick. Few possessions later, 21-17 in the 3rd quarter. Younghoe Koo and his Falcons were on top. Now it's a tie game late in the 4th. Couldn't have asked for a closer finish. Ritter and his offense in the 3rd and 4. 1 first down, and it's all but over. Here comes the pressure. Almost intercepted by Warner. Who is going to put them up 6 points, which means Derek Carr and the Saints have a chance to win this one with a touchdown drive right here, right now. 1 timeout left. Empty backfield, zone coverage for ATL. Carr's going to make you pay. Thomas gets them across midfield. 3 interceptions for Derek Carr in this one, not having his best game ever, okay? But all that matters is him getting the W. Here comes the blitz from the Falcons. There's a flag. They're going to call pass interference on AJ Terrell, which means they're now inside the 25, 3rd and 9. Carr going to the end zone. Juwan Johnson gives the Saints the lead. 3 timeouts for Ritter in this offense, fighting for their lives in this tournament. What a dot! But they're not in field goal range just yet, and they have no more timeouts. Down 1, 11 seconds. This needs to be to the sideline, and it's not. Patterson gets tackled in bounds. The Saints hold on. Both quarterbacks through multiple INTs, man. We have to start giving credit to these defenses for forcing them to throw so many picks and forcing so many turnovers. New Orleans, led by Lattimore and the Honey Badger, are headed to the Final Four. How poetic. We get to see Derek Carr and the Saints taking on his former team and the Raiders, who get off to their early lead 10-0 after one. Saints staying within arm's distance though, and maybe that's all they need to do to get the W at the end. But right now the Raiders are taking off. It's a blowout, people. 34-10 at one point. Jimmy G is taking his team to the championship game. Carr did not do as bad as he did in the last game, but Josh Jacobs has been running like a madman this entire tournament, and now his team is one game away from being the champions. Solid run from the Saints. Time to find out who the Raiders' opponent is going to be in the final game. Richardson and the Colts, or Jordan Love and the Packers. Right now Indy has a 14-11 advantage. The Packers take the lead. No more timeouts for Indy. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. 3rd down and 10 for Anthony Richardson. 4-man rush, man coverage. Nice pass. Did he get both feet in bounds? No. 4th down and 10. Don't know why he decided to do a whole 180 instead of just tiptoeing. Incomplete pass, and the Packers, thanks to the pressure from Kenny Clark on the last play of the game, are headed to the finals. Anthony Richardson did all he could, man. To get his team this far as a rookie is pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of people were sleeping on the Packers without Rodgers, and look at them in the final game of the tournament. Only one team will be victorious. One new starting quarterback will rise above the rest. Jimmy G had his team up 7-0, but you know this is going to be a close one. Both of these teams are battle tested. They've been through it all in this tournament. The Packers and Jordan Love take the lead back late in the 4th quarter, but Jimmy G has his offense moving and grooving. They're right outside the red zone. Down 4, less than 2 minutes 40 seconds left in the game. Devontae in motion. That's where Jimmy G decides to go. They get a 1st down, and the Packers get an amazing goal line stand. Jacobs inside the 5, averaging close to 10 yards per carry, but right now he's not even in the backfield. He's out wide on a 4th down and 3. Could this be the last chance for the Raiders? Touchdown, Austin Hooper. Las Vegas takes the lead. Here comes Jordan Love. Good protection. I spoke too soon. Crosby hits him, but Love still completes the pass. What a dot. 1st and 10. Dump off to Aaron Jones, who makes 2 people miss. 3 people. This dude is different. And I guess the Packers picked up someone in free agency. Matthew Wright is their kicker. Can he send us into overtime? Yes. First team to score a field goal wins this. Right now the defenses are taking over, but it's the Raiders who end up victorious in this tournament. So right now they can lay claim to the best team with a new starting quarterback. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Destroy the like button, man. I love when you guys do that, man. Look at the stats. Jacobs was just different this entire tournament long. Well-deserved victory for his team. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day.